I'm Kat Matlock of West Asheville Yoga and Freedom of Movement Bodyworks in Asheville, North Carolina. And I'm going to show you how to use your foam roller for targeted rolling of the adductors in your inner thighs. So we're going to take the foam roller, get down on your belly on your yoga mat or on a nice rug, and put the foam roller up near your groin. Then you bring both elbows to the floor. I like to tuck my opposite leg toes under and lift that leg. See how that levels my pelvis? And it puts a little bit more pressure in the foam roller itself. And I just roll the first few inches. There's a bunch of tendons and some smaller muscles of the adductor inner thighs right up there at the groin. So I'm just using my foam roller, engaging my belly, lifting up to start freeing the binding around those tendons and releasing some of the tension of the inner thighs. Then if I find a tender spot, I'm going to pause and take a breath. Try to sink my weight down into that space. And then I'm going to move on. After I spend a little time in that upper section, maybe the first 4 or 5 inches, then I'm going to move the foam roller down. Notice that I put it a little closer to my knee because as I turn back down, now the foam roller is right in the center of my thigh, between my pelvis and my knee. And then I'll rock side to side on that. I'm going to lift the other side of my pelvis. You could even leave the knee down of the opposite leg. That works fine. And I'm going to rock through, typically right in the center of the thigh, about halfway down between the groin and the knee, is a point in a muscle called gracilis. It's important to keep the knee bent out to the side, kind of level with the pelvis. And I hang out on that spot. I take a moment and a breath. And then I just kind of roll up and down along there. I might find another spot and pause and take a breath. It's common to feel warmth and heat going through the inner thighs as you're freeing the binding around the blood vessels. And then I want to hit a muscle called sartorius, so I'm going to lift my foot about halfway. And notice that when I lift my leg, it starts to rotate my thigh, and I find another line of tension. This is a muscle called sartorius. It's called the leg crossing muscle. It's a hip flexor, meaning it lifts your leg up. It rotates your hip out to the side and draws your leg in. It bends the knee. So there's usually a really tender spot in sartorius right near the top sort of the thigh, and I'm just going to hang out there. Anywhere along this line you might find some tenderness. Just give yourself time to pause and breathe, and then relax the leg, and then roll up and down again, side to side, just clearing that whole area. Some folks like to straighten their leg. I find my muscles stay a little softer if I keep the knee bent, so I just like to work in that way. You can go lower down toward the knee, you just don't want to roll right on the knee itself. And just get some lower sections of the inner thigh muscles. Pause and breathe. The inner thighs draw the knees towards each other. So for people who are cyclists and horseback riders, anybody who crosses their legs when they sit, these muscles are going to be tight and tender, and they'll affect the health and the balance of tension with the outer hip muscles. So this is rolling the inner thighs with the foam roller. And then to work some of the deeper points of the inner thighs, check out the next video of rolling the adductors with a ball and a block. Thanks.